Hi, McGee here with EURweb.com. Hello, Kelvin. Thank you for giving me your time today to speak about the very exciting home video release of Mufasa the Lion King. A lot of fans are very excited about being able to now enjoy this movie from the comforts of their home. So, in your opinion, how does it feel knowing that audiences around the world can now stream Mufasa the Lion King anytime on Disney Plus?
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for talking with me as well, by the way. I'm overjoyed. I'm like, it's so Disney Plus is, I feel like, the home for most of the kids. It's really cool to go to the theater and watch the movie, and I'm glad that's happening again. That families are going. Because I also think that with this particular film, there's a generation of people that also grew up with it and loved The Lion King since it came out in '94. So it was a perfect family affair. But for the home video watchers, this is for our kids to keep rewatching, like my godson's watching right now. You know what I mean? Like it's a always interactive situation. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now more people will be able to sing the songs too.
Right? How do you hope new fans and returning fans will experience the film differently at home compared to in theaters?
I think one, we have the sing-along feature, which is really cool as well, because they didn't get to do that in the theater. And now that everyone knows the music, that's always fun. I personally love a sing-along feature. Then you can pause it, you can discuss it, you can ask more questions. I think there's going to be more interaction with young people with the film. And there's special features as well. So you get to see how we made the movie, which is always my favorite part of the movies. Like I loved looking on, well, YouTube later on when I got older and seeing the behind the scenes on how the movies got made. And right now I'm in Orlando doing the Disney Dreamers Academy. And I think that's really cool for those that are aspiring to be filmmakers or actors or animators or anything like that, because you get to get excited about the process. So it just offers so much. It's more open and lively and interactive.
Now, speaking of excitement, I mean, how does it feel for you as an actor to be part of a project with such a massive global audience?
It's like it's a dream come true. It really is, and I know it sounds corny sometimes, but I sometimes can't believe it. I remember when the 2019 version came out, and I remember hearing that they were announcing, and I was like, man, I really want to be in this movie. And I really hope that someone can put me in this movie. Like, is there a role? Can I be one of the hyenas? You know? And to know I get to voice one of my favorite Disney villains of all time and bring a different aspect to him with this massive franchise is such a gift. Like Disney is also a place I go to every year for my birthday. It's a place that my family used to vacation every year. So now I get to be a part of that family. And it's so much about community. It's so much about purity and something wholesome. And I feel right now it feels really special to be the face of something that's really beautiful and not always and challenging and educating in the right ways.
So I love the fact that you said you were initially eyeing a very smaller role, a hyena, and you went on to get voiced one of the most prominent characters in the film. I imagine you weren't expecting that at all, so that's pretty awesome.
I literally had no. I got an email. I was in Australia filming Elvis, and then I was finishing up the movie. And I was like, man, what am I gonna do next? I was like, I hope it's something cool. Like I just had this amazing experience with Baz and Austin and Tom Hanks and everybody, and I was like, I just want to do something cool. And then I get this email, and it was like Lion King, and it said to. I was like, what is it? Maybe the Broadway play? I was like, because they already made it. I was like, there's no chance. And then it was like Horatio, which was the code word for Scar at the time, and Mufasa, and I was like. I called my agent. I was like, "What is this?" It was like, "Well, they're making a prequel." I was like, "Shut up!" And so then I started dancing prematurely, and I didn't even get, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even get the part yet. The fact that I got to audition was really cool. So I'm kind of nerding out, and I'm supposed to be cool. So let's be cool.
Okay, so wait, on that note, and speaking of nerding out and being cool, what was it like at the premiere? This is an ensemble cast, and Beyonce shows up. What do you do when you see Beyonce at the Lion King Mufasa premiere?
I was really working. I was like, Kelvin, be respectful. Don't be weird. Don't overthink it. I said, because, she's going to notice, she knows you're in the movie. So, if she wants to interact with you, she will just be chill. And, this is long game. You might get to work with her some other time. So you don't want to overexpose and show your hands already. And then I see her and I kind of go, So I had to collect myself real quick. But I love the queen. I love the queen. I don't know what else to tell y'all. I love the queen.
Let me ask you, what do you think makes this version of The Lion King resonate with viewers in a new way?
I think it's the story of what leadership truly looks like. I think the other one was a big theme was grief and how we can overcome grief and how community is a huge portion of us becoming um our best selves and coming of age. And this one is a different coming of age story when in terms about earning our roles as leaders. And the journey um is not without its own obstacles. It's not without insecurity. It's not um without help as well. And I think we get to see the reason maybe Scar or Taka didn't necessarily become the king, even if he was the rightful king, has nothing to do with his ability, but everything to do with his insecurity and inability to actually involve other parties in that journey. He wanted to do it on his own and claim it as if it was just supposed to just happen. And what Mufasa did was he allowed the challenges to help him evolve into becoming the man that he was. So I think that's really powerful for young people to know as well.
What's something about Taka's past or personality that you think will surprise fans of the original films?
Ooh, Taka's personality or fans. I think you know what I've seen that has been surprising is that they can't. But one, people didn't know he was British. That was interesting because I was like, I mean, I didn't always process it that way. I knew when I heard the voice in the Jeremy Irons, I was like, he sounds different, but I didn't necessarily process it as British. But that's one thing. Also, that he was actually really just sweet and naive, you know? I think the whole notion of a father saying, you can potentially kill this kid if he doesn't beat you in a race. And he's like, well, I'm not gonna take that seriously because I just want him to be my brother. You know what I mean? Like there's something really like innocent and pure about it. And I think that we think that people grow up and immediately come out the womb just being a hater, you know? And I don't think that was Taka. A lot of things happen that makes haters. You know what I'm saying? So be careful.
I like that. People come out of the womb hating. Man, that's craziness. Okay.
That's crazy.
So what do you hope? I mean, obviously Scar's journey, Taka's journey has some deep emotional moments we see in this film. So what do you hope audiences take away overall from his story? Like, is there a message? Is there a message at the heartbeat of Taka's journey that you hope leave audiences thinking about it, talking about it, or just resonate with viewers?
The big one that's kind of come up is communication. In any intimate relationship, we have to know how to communicate, whether it be with our parents, with our siblings, with the people we love. And I think we get a little bit of both. I mean, we see Taka deal with a poor communication with his father and not necessarily being able to express what he needed from his dad, and which is like the dad felt like he wasn't showing up for Taka in the right way. So the mother took over. The mother and the father weren't always in agreement. And then we see him kind of mirror some of the same distant relationship of just doing what you want or saying something and assuming someone understands you. And now Mufasa misunderstands what Taka's asking for, which is please respect the fact that I really like this girl and I want to go and pursue this relationship with her. And instead, he's like, well, I'm trying, but it doesn't seem like you're that interested because you're lillygagging over there and taking naps. You know what I'm saying? But it's like there's a misunderstanding. But the less we communicate, the more room there is for misunderstandings. And I think with Taka, hopefully encourages people to say who you are, say what you need, say what you're struggling with, say when you're feeling insecure. And hopefully that the person, if they really love you, they'll reveal if they're actually going to support you in that. And if they don't, maybe they're not here for you, you know?
Exactly. So this film has been praised for its breathtaking visuals and obviously the emotional storytelling. Do you have any favorite scenes or any standout moments that you can share with us?
I want to say the opening. The opening is absolutely stunning. I think when Keith and Nika sing what's the name of the song in the beginning? Malele, yes, of course. It's beautiful. The flowers, the way it's blowing in the wind, the landscapes. I always wanted a brother's also really stunning those transitions into the water and up the trees and the cubs running. And what I really loved, and I told Barry this, I was like, man, you've managed to really build an epic. I was like, with how you've been able to put the camera inside the water, how beautiful it looks and how real it feels and immersive it kind of feels. Um, that's my godson. Um, he's singing "I Always Wanted a Brother." Um, see, it's a hit. The kids love it, but yeah, I think there's so many beautiful shots. But I would say in the musical numbers, he really shows off.
Right on. So let me ask you this as we start to wrap up. I mean, speaking of the director, how did you collaborate with the director and your fellow cast members to bring the world of Mufasa the Lion King to life? I mean, I know it's a different experience being a voice actor. You're in a booth, I'm imagining. You probably don't interact a lot with your co-stars, or maybe you do. So kind of tell us a little bit about the process of bringing this character to life and the type of research you did to fully embody the headspace. And kind of tie into your answer, did you embed any of your own personality in the spirit of Taka?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, I think with Barry, the first conversation we had was brief, and it really was about the aesthetic. What did he look like, you know? And he was building that as we were talking, and he showed me a picture of the draft, and I think that gave me a little bit of insight as to what he felt like. And he wasn't as I thought, because I remember seeing an interview of Jeremy Irons, and he felt a little bit like he was like offended a little bit of how Scar looked. He was like, "Why did you make me the scrawny one?" And and I was like, "Are you gonna do that here?" I was like, "We kind of already captured that later on, but that makes sense for an arc and a trajectory. So let's start him off a healthy young cub with all the promise in the world." And Barry was like, "Yes, I agree with that." And that was big and really insightful to start at a certain place. And though I still came in there and I was like referencing Joffrey from Game of Thrones at times, and um, obviously Jeremy Irons a lot, and Chiwetel some, um, and Ron Weasley at points too. And no, and at first I was doing what's the kid Slytherin kid, you know?
Yeah, I know him. I can't think of his name, but I know
Yeah,
exactly.
Draco. That was one of the
Yes.
references at first, and it was a little too on the nose. So then we reeled it back and we brought him lighter, and we lightened the voice and brought it up the pitch higher because I first started and everything was like this. And then I was like, oh, maybe if I kept it a little bit more upbeat and a bit more percussive, and it kind of got more of a Taka tone and poppy, and impulsive. That was the new word, impulsive and just free thinking because there's so much access, there's so much privilege. You don't have to bound yourself with feeling like you have to be overly witty or thoughtful. I think that's where Scar becomes because of the hurt, has to control the narrative and find under ways to cut people to not get in trouble, but still make his opinions known because not everyone's listening. But he's not in that space yet. So it's figuring out what that trajectory looked like. And for me, um, just a lot, a lot of eye rolls. I have a lot of that's me personally. People say certain things, and I just be like, interesting. And I think I brought that aspect to Taka of just like, ugh, I don't got time for this. Because I grew up in the ain't nobody got time for this era. So yeah.
Right on. You know what? I love the fact that Barry was receptive to your ideas and allowed you to help build this character.
Action. I think what's so cool about The Lion King is that it feels like it's beloved amongst many, and that becomes a new community of people that love the songs, love the themes, love the characters. I was at breakfast today and I was talking to a Kovu fan, and that means they love Lion King too. And then we started singing songs from Lion King too, and you start to like bond with people and build new friendships and relationships over just a love for these characters. And I think this movie does that in spades, and it makes people really excited. It makes them feel good. And it helps you find your people and your tribe. And ultimately, that's what Taka was looking for. That's what Mufasa was looking for. That's the theme of the movie is finding your tribe. So I hope more people find their tribe.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, as I like to say.
I love that. I'm stealing that. That's good.
Steal it because I stole it. So
I know that's
take
right.
it. Calvin, that's my time, sir. Thank you so much for speaking with me
I
today, and you have a
appreciate
great
you.
rest of your day.
You too. Thank you, Nat.
Thank you.